significant academic attention has been given to the depictions of women in the media over the years. Since the 1980s, however, there has also been an increasing trend in the media to objectify men in much the same way it's been accused of doing so in women. Our project sought to find evidence of this in recently published issues and use available academic literature to explore the consequences. The hypothesis was that an almost uniform phenotype would be observed, one which would emphasize the importance of strength, power, and even aggression and dominance as elements of masculinity. This single depiction of the male image creates potential issues for society. It renormalizes traditional gender roles and resists progress towards gender equality. We codified and analyzed over 500 images from advertisements in the latest issues of GQ and Men's Health.
The content analysis of these advertisements began by establishing a research question which would be answered through the analysis of these advertisements. This research question was formulated to be: what elements of men's advertisements are most likely to convey a depiction of masculinity and power, as well as how? From this question, different categories were created to help analyze specific features of the advertisements, which led to the answer of the pending question. Some of these categories included the model's ages, their ethnicity, their body type, facial expression, an impression of their personality, the presence of other males or females, and many more categories. This was organized into a codebook that helped the coders of the advertisements know what they were looking for specifically, as well as how to rate each advertisement in each category. Once the data was collected for the advertisements, it was analyzed by the predominant rating in each category, or the mode of each category. This ultimately led to the drawing of conclusions about men's advertisements in general and how they depicted masculinity and power. A predominant feature in 79% of the advertisements, to be specific, was that male models were exhibited to be alone. This could lead to men thinking they must have singular dominance over all aspects of their lives with very little consideration for anything else, including women. There was also a predominance in the appearance of men in advertisements, possibly allowing for men to create a correlation between masculinity and power to a certain appearance. In a majority of the advertisements, the men were white, well-groomed, between the ages of 20 to 29, and with a mesomorphic body type. This appearance is to establish what dominance and power should look like, to create a world where men can look like this and assert their power without actually having to have the credentials to back it up.
For the purpose of this presentation, two subjects were chosen to demonstrate the extent to which media images permeate our lives and manifest in ways in which we view ourselves. Alright guys, let's go. Feel good?
Huh?
How you feeling?
Feeling alright.
Yeah? I'd like to introduce you to Tommy and RJ. They are not professional models, but choose to spend as much time and effort on their appearance as they do because of societal influences. This illustrates how subversive and persuasive the messages of advertising can be, which emphasizes the need for the consumer to be able to critically assess advertisements and to understand they are never simply being sold a product. So, you guys looked fabulous today.
Thank you very much.
Did you put any preparation into this morning?
Absolutely not. I woke up like an hour ago.
I shaved.
Came down.
Good. How much a week do you spend on body image related things such as working out, tanning, hair?
Yeah, alright, yeah, so I'm pretty neurotic about that. Like, we both go to the gym at least 3-4 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But I go tan, I get my hair cut at least once a week.
I'd say every day.
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah. I have to line up my hair every day, or do something every day.
Great, and you feel good about yourselves at the end of doing all of this?
Absolutely, I feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking good, feeling
90%
good.
of the time.
90% of the time? Now, do you feel that this is something that you need to do to feel good?
Yeah. I don't feel good if I don't do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I actually feel like not normal if I don't do it.
And how do you think other people perceive you after you do this?
I feel like if I think I look good and I'm feeling good, then it shows. Like people see that. You know, so my confidence is high and all that.
There's definitely a validation aspect to it. You feel like you wouldn't be validated if you didn't do these things.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, you hit it on that.
Now, what do you think about the roots of these feelings?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Might be some insecurity in
yeah,
there.
there's definitely some insecurity because, like, you know, I'll speak for myself. I haven't always been in shape. You know what I mean? I was in like terrible shape before, you know. So like now that I have like improved, you know, I feel good about showing it off.
So I'm going to talk a minute about our project. We looked at various images from magazines using male models, analyzing how the models appeared in the pictures, what their bodies looked like, and also compared to literature that had been based on this kind of study before. A lot of what we found is that there is an emphasis on masculinity, this creation of an ideal male body image, this Adonis image, and it's in reaction to, and this is kind of theory side of it, but the idea of women becoming stronger in the workplace. Therefore, men have to re-justify themselves economically, and the best way a man has traditionally been able to do that is through his body. Is that he can show his power through his body, maintain his dominance by having that ideal Adonis masculinity. There is also a side-related note that is in contrast with the rise of the gay movement, whereas the heterosexual male has to reaffirm his dominance over homosexual population as it becomes more accepted in mainstream society. Obviously, notice in magazines, there is a fairly distinct lack of variety in models that are used. There is very much at least toned and in shape, if not muscular and, you know, something that is unattainable for the majority of men. Now, I mean, with me saying that, going into what we've found and the research that we covered, does that affect your opinion of where you get these things? Do you feel that media and society has an influence on the way you feel about yourselves?
I mean, I don't know, like the reason I do these things is to make myself feel good, but also obviously to get, you know, attention from women, you know what I mean? Obviously I want to look good and everything, and like I want that validation from women, but I don't think, maybe I get my ideal, like the ideal image from advertising or like images like that, but I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with like getting like power over women or
I guess
making
some
gay people look bad or
influence.
anything like that.
I get some influence from the media because like I'll go through like magazines and I'll be like, damn, I need pecs like that. Like I need like my shoulders to get bigger, and then I'll use that like to like my focal point for like my workout routines or something. Like I'll base it around that. I'm like, okay, this is my area I want to like improve on, and this is what I want, and it's all aesthetic. Like it's all for look.
Not wanting to go too deep into it, but why do you feel that you need it just because it's in a magazine?
Because it looks good to me, you know. Like it looks like that's the way that's what I want. You know? It's like seeing a new car or like new rims on a car. You're like, oh, I want those rims, you know. Just your muscles.
not to put words into your mouth or to construe it in any way, Tommy, but wouldn't you say that you feel like your image gets you attention from women and other people because it's what's been normalized in society as the correct image to have?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. So the purpose of our project that we kind of came to is to understand better that the way things are depicted in advertising isn't necessarily representative of society, and in some ways suppresses a real realization of what we're getting towards, a real equality between men and women, that the focal point of advertising tends to be that men have to be dominant over women. Would you agree? That when you see in a lot of advertising, the man is definitely the prominent figure, and he's always shown as being powerful, successful, and this is just to reaffirm that he is still a dominant gender, when in fact the workplace shows that women are gaining more and more power. So, as I said, the purpose of our project was to move to a point where we recognize that advertising is not representative of reality, and that while it is okay for us to show whatever in advertising, that is artistic right, that is First Amendment right, it should be critically assessed by its viewers so that their views of society are not misconstrued. How do you guys feel?
Pretty good, man.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, not a problem.
Enlightening.
That was completely painless.